Okay, so I am joined here today by Lucy, Elizabeth, and Jake from from Stay Happy, Keep Smiling. We've talked a little bit about the sort of what goes on exactly in the plot and the play and the kind of idea about it, but I thought maybe you could all talk us through a little bit about your personal characters and your own character's sort of story and trajectory within the play.
Cool. Hi. So my character is called Lena. She's a young journalist who kind of comes storming in after the main event and has this encounter with a character called Stefan. And it's basically she's trying to sort of capture the story during the aftermath of a really terrible event, and it's kind of, not quite sure how much to say, but some things happen and it gets a little bit heated. And it's kind of, she's a very young journalist and she's trying to sort of make her way and kind of start her career, but she kind of goes a bit head over heels and isn't really being very sensitive, and lots of sort of things come out, and Next.
Hi, I play Dr. Catherine. She's a psychiatrist, sort of a therapist for the character Rita. And I believe she is sort of a tool used by Anna to be sort of like a filter for Rita, to filter her thoughts, because Rita's kind of all over the place when she comes to her, and she needs someone to just vent to. And that's who Catherine is for her. At first, it takes a while for Rita to really open up to anyone. I mean, anyone who sits with the therapist is kind of like, I don't really want to talk to you, but I'm here now, I might as well, sort of thing. But soon after, we see a sort of mutual agreement between the two of them, and we see them kind of really conversate and have this discussion about what the play is about, and what victims of just witnessing such a horrific event, what it is to talk about it and to really kind of look into why it happened and why you're feeling that way. That's who Catherine is for Rita.
So I play a character called Stefan, who's in the scene with Lucy. He's a landscape gardener, witnesses this event, and is hugely traumatized by it. I mean, he's almost crippled with what we would assume would be PTSD, has flashbacks, quite bad nightmares, ends up having quite a skewed view of society. He goes on to say about how, worthless we are as a race and how we're no more superior than animals. And I think for him, it's the course of the play is just about him trying to make himself feel better. And I think the manner with which he goes about that is actually probably really, really wrong. He's not one of these people that can actually say, this is how I'm feeling about this, and I need to be able to speak to somebody constructively. I think the manner with which he goes about it is hugely inappropriate and actually quite threatening as well. Again, not going into too much detail, but for him, the point of it is to make himself feel better, but he's a man's man, he's a bit blokey about it, and he's very kind of chest puffy kind of thing, so it's tough, but it's challenging.
Thank you. Sort of leaning over. So your character is really quite interesting because she's very different to all the others who have been personally affected by what's going on, and we learn a lot about their sort of trajectory and how shock and the trauma manifests itself in each. So do you ever see a sort of more personal aspect of your character?
We were talking about this the other day, and it was like, even if I don't know you, I can still feel for you. I can still see what you're going through. And I may not have the immediate sort of aftermath effects, but I will see you go through that. And sometimes just being there is all that's needed. And I feel like Catherine is, she is a very different character to everyone else. She doesn't, we never really see her side, but we see a reflection of her through her words and how she talks to Rita. We see her kind of really empathise and sympathise with her. I may not have seen, we don't see the words, but she may not have seen the attack, but she understands.
That's what's, thank you, ready now. Quite interesting about like the journalist's role, because her job fundamentally is to report the story, but being so young and kind of trying to do the right thing, she kind of gets caught up in, I don't know, she's kind of, I struggled with like, it's like she's being insensitive, but that's what she's kind of got to do, and how far it goes is is really dark, and at the same time as sort of feeling she's been a little bit pushy, she kind of had to be, so that's just sort of the way it is with her job, I think.
And you just touched on the sort of dark aspects, and obviously knowing what the play is about, it is naturally very dark, but then it's got this title, which I'm sure you've been asked lots of questions about. So is there anything that you can sort of say about that? Is it, what does that title mean to you, or what do you think is the importance of having something that's slightly sort of ironic in a way?
I think it's quite a simple answer, really. Basically, that love is always stronger than hate, and humans' resilience is actually incredibly powerful and beautiful. There's a really beautiful song in it that I actually only fully listened to the lyrics to in a scene on stage the other day. Good, well done. But it's kind of basically saying that, really, and it's sort of like that, I think, sums up the whole piece, that it's very dark and it's very sad, but yeah, like I said, like love is always stronger than hate, basically. I think that's what the sort of stay happy, keep smiling, like we are strong together, basically. Thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely like second that, and I feel like once I read the title I was like, okay, and then I read the play, I was like, okay, that doesn't okay, and then I was like, hold on, if we really look at what happens now in reality in the world today, we are seeing a lot of tragic events, but it's a lot of the keep calm and carry on feeling. Just keep going to work, keep seeing your family, don't block off, because that's what they want at the end of the day. So I feel like this play, though ironic with its title, it kind of just affirms this human, just the core of human beings, to just love, just continually love. Those who are incapable of that, like, just try your best with them, and just don't leave anyone hanging. Yeah.
It's funny, so maybe it's just I'm taking it from a really dark place. So maybe I'm just taking it from the position of my character, who is, again, in a very dark place. I think it's almost like a mantra for him, where he's just like, look, in order to be happy, just keep smiling, just put a brave face on it. I never really felt it was like an aspirational thing. For me personally, it was that thing where you're like, just keep on keeping on, and if you can find happiness in what you're doing, then that's great. But if not, just keep smiling, because you might actually be lucky and stay happy. I don't know. I've never been asked that question, actually. No one's. You're the first person to ask that question. So thank you very much. Thank you. But yeah, no, I think it was that. I think it's that. Just get up, go to work, work hard, come home and try and enjoy your life, even though these horrible things, as you say, like it's not just, it doesn't have to be a traumatic event. Do you know what I mean? It could literally be anything. We've all had really bad weeks, really bad days. It's like just.
Thank you very much. Thank you.